Okay. Another Well, wait. Monday, I guess, when you're watching this, but Sunday when we're recording it. Why is this? There we go. What's going on, old guy? How you doing?
Oh, great, great young man, supposedly.
I mean, you're only as
This
young
old man can
as
get around. Wait, this old man.
you're only as young as you feel, but unless it's in your case, but that's neither here nor there. But
That's right.
in talking with, I guess, Mama Tack, I don't know what she
Hmm.
prefers to call herself, but we'll just call her Mama Tack for those, that are
Okay.
listening. We were talking about some things, and it came across, and it was brought to, well, I guess I made the statement about jobs and qualifications for those jobs and how it feels like they're still kind of stuck in the same place, even though there's like other ways around it. For example, she stated that you could actually get a degree in basket weaving and still apply and get a decent job. But I was like, so why can't I just put that I played, X, Y, and Z or did something for X amount of years instead of having to have that requirement of a degree on like most of the job applications? Because it still shows the same thing. Like if you're doing a team sport, it shows you, oh, you're a team player, you were consistent. A degree is like, I understand why they're asking for it because it shows that you are committed to that thing for an extended amount of time. You show focus, the yada, X, Y, and Z. But I was like, you can still do the same thing and not spend as much money by doing a team activity or something, a skill where that's not the, I guess, the entry point for a lot of jobs. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of the other stuff that goes behind it, but I just want to start there, and I'll go ahead and give you the floor.
Okay. With the way life is changing now, the way the new age, um, people want convenience. So based on that, the college degree is a good thing. I'm not knocking it, but that's not going to be the new norm. The new norm is providing services that people don't want to do. So that takes skilled labor. That takes, the craftsmen, that takes the plumbers. That's not necessarily a college degree is needed for
Mm.
that. You just need to get a skill.
Right,
And we talked and you mentioned it on previous podcasts about convenience. People do things because it's convenient.
right.
People don't even want to go get their own food. They want somebody to bring it to them.
Well, I mean, I think
So,
COVID kind of conditioned us for that, but
but but you see where we're headed.
right.
So that college degree is still important, but I see the future as filling those needs of convenience.
Right. But I guess I'm more so looking at the bigger businesses, not
Mhm.
necessarily like the trades. I'm saying like when you're getting right out of college and you
Okay.
have the businesses wanting you to have a degree or X amount of experience, even
Mhm.
though more than likely they can train you on the experience that they want after they hire you. I know that it's changing now after my generation and younger, but my generation was probably the ones that had the brunt of it as far as like we had that motto stuck in our head, you need to go to school. If you don't go to school, you're not going to get a good job, X, Y, and Z. But I'm like, now that that is changing, why was that such a hard thing? Like, what was that such a hard focus for our group and we couldn't just put down other alternatives to still show that we had the same skills for these jobs, if that makes sense. Like I was saying earlier, like you're demanding that we go and have a college degree, but having a college degree means 4 years, right? So I could put down I did 4 years of college football or 4 years of something else or did 4 years on a team sport. Basically shows the same thing, and
Same
then
commitment.
same commitment, exactly, same commitment, same focus, and then I can acquire maybe a skill here or there. Because I know a lot of people that went and got a degree that don't understand, half the stuff that they were studying, and they may have gotten a job, this, that, and the third, but it's just one of those examples where you're requiring, like, for example, you're requiring someone to be an engineer, but yet they may not be equipped enough to be an engineer, but they still get hired. In that kind of situation, something like that. Like they may have gotten by in college, barely just getting by, and they get
That's
hired compared to, somebody else who may have picked up the skills but necessarily didn't do a degree, and they did like team sports or some kind of something to show that they were focused. But if you can't really put that on a resume to say, oh, I did this for 4 years, because they're not going to look at it. I guess that's where I'm kind of going with this. If that really makes any sense, it may seem like I'm kind of all over the place with that.
no, no. What you're saying is, I get what you're saying. Somebody who barely, probably even cheated their way to a degree to some. So I'm not downplaying anybody's degree or anybody's accomplishments, but then you get somebody who has the means, intelligence, the drive to learn whatever skill is out there. And we're gonna stick with engineering. I'll just use that particular one because you brought it up. You had somebody who just skated through, and then you got somebody say, "Well, okay, I want to be an engineer, and but I don't have a 4 year degree, but I got the knowledge to be an engineer. I just didn't take that route.
Right.
I didn't." So the thing is, you got to put yourself in a place where you can use it to be used as an engineer, even though you didn't get an engineering degree.
Right.
So it's all about placement. You can have the skills, people can have skills to play football, but if they don't make it to the tryouts or they don't, it's just wasted.
Mm.
So and the thing about it is, it's like everybody doesn't get that opportunity. So with that, you might see the engineering degree gets your resume looked at.
Right.
Without the engineering degree, it's just you don't meet those requirements because that's probably one of the requirements. So that's the difference basically in it. But you can get yourself in an area where your knowledge can be seen and you can do the same work as a 4 year engineering
Right.
degree.
Right. And yeah, I think yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I guess the main focus I was really focusing on was more so that harping on you need a degree, but it's like there's so many alternative routes that I can't put on here that basically would say the same thing as doing a degree, because that's 4 years of debt and 4 years of 4 years of debt and 4 years of showing, the same commitments that you could be debt free and still do the same thing, like, i.e., sports or a club, social club or something like that. I just I'm just more so like, why is that always like the main thing? But I guess we can't put these other things that we participated in, because it's not because you have your resume has to be a set way, because
That's
when
right, because to be even looked at.
right, your resume has to be a set way. Like, if even if you said, oh, I did this to equate to, schooling or whatever the case may be, it just gets thrown out the window. That's just so,
That's right.
why, I guess, why is that the norm? And and would it be able to be changed? Could somebody, or is that something that's just gonna change as, maybe my generation, the generation behind us, gets into HR and all these other things and looks at the bigger picture instead of
A lot is changing. You see it, you
right.
know about it. So yes, it's going to change. Like you say, once they get in HR, certain people, certain criteria, and then you start seeing that the people who, you know, the people who graduating, we're not getting a good product.
Hmm.
Who has the engineering degree, we get the good product of people who don't. So that's going to change how people hire, and but that's an internal.
Right.
That's an internal hire. That's an internal growth. So you have to get. You might not start off as an engineer, but
Mm.
if you got the skills, you probably could be
Right.
doing engineering work. It for me, I suggest anybody the the reason why college is pushed is because every generation expects more from the generation, behind it.
Mm.
You- Everybody wants their kid to be educated. That's from slavery. That's before, since they wrote books.
Right.
You just education is a major role in it. So yes, they're gonna push it. They're gonna push it, but for me, I think if you're gonna push it, just don't say it. You have to put things in place to make sure that kid is comfortable in it. It's what you do when the kid is developing and maturing in life. Do you have the reading materials? Are you giving them the resources to build? And now they can pursue whatever they want. But if you just barking and just throwing money on education and not giving everything, all the other resources and nurturing it, I mean, what do you expect?
Mm.
Do you expect them to graduate? Do you expect them to have a good time and party? I mean, it is what it is.
So let me, well, I think I pretty much know which way you're gonna go, but let me just paint you, put you in a scenario. You're in HR, right? You have these
Mhm.
two resumes. We have
Okay.
somebody, I mean, skated by. I mean, I don't know if are you gonna require a GPA put on the resume?
They usually, if they got a good GPA, they will put it on there,
Okay,
but that's not required.
okay. Oh, okay. So two people applying
No
for the
GPA.
no GPA, two people applying for a job. One went into one did the engineering, right? One did
Mhm.
the engineering, no other accolades. No other
Mhm.
accolades, nothing else showing, any other interest. Person B was in a club, engineering club for 4 years or whatever, has a lot of accolades of like different activities and things like that. Which one which one do you look at? Do you just look specifically at the degree, the person with the degree, and hire them because they have that piece of paper, or do you look at the person that was in the engineering club with the accolades, with other accolades showing that they're personable and other
Okay.
things like that? That's I guess that's the main thing what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at right there, the
Right.
bigger like that whole thing.
It just depends on what type of company.
Mm,
I, I've heard Google type atmosphere where the kids are there riding skateboards and just hoverboards all through the complex,
mm.
which is a relaxed atmosphere. They're just paying them for their minds and whatever they're doing. So to but I'm pretty sure that their resume says they are top in their class and
Mm,
they're this, they're this. So they're creating an atmosphere that they're comfortable and that can nurture their creativity.
mm,
So that makes sense. I'm still thinking when since HR is so important now and it's so stringent, they put a criteria there that you if it doesn't fall in line with that job description,
mm,
it's cast out. Even though, now if they said, this engineering, if you have a engineering club membership, it's equivalent to a engineering degree, they'll say, okay, that requires, but it has to fall in that line.
mm.
And they make it very stringent because they don't want any bias in their choices. So they don't want somebody to pick somebody or exclude somebody because of whatever.
Eh,
It's a non-bias.
there may be some bias in there, but
Well,
there may be. I don't know
that's the
about that. There definitely be probably some bias in there.
but that's the goal.
Right.
That's the goal. That HR is a non-bias. No sex, no race, nothing plays a part in that process. But
Speak.
it just so happens it works out the way it works out. But
Okay. Well, speaking on that, why? I know why, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. Why do they
mhm.
always ask all those questions in regards to veteran, race? Now we're getting into the binaries, like what your pronouns and everything, like
That's right.
on the resumes now.
Right,
So
right.
I mean, I know why. Well, they probably added more onto this, but I know the
Mhm.
main reason why they were doing that. But I guess I just want to hear your thought on that.
It's a very simple reason. They
Hmm.
want to try to make everybody happy, and that's impossible
Right.
to do. You can't make everybody happy.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, I mean, I know it's more so about they get those credits and things like that if they hire certain people like on the
Oh
back end. You know that's the thing, right? They get
no,
like
no, no, no! Expand.
so
Uh,
from what I recall, and I'll have to look it up. Forgive me for not having
no,
this
yeah,
because this is on the spot. Uh,
right, right.
they have the businesses. A lot of businesses have like if they have X amount of ethnicities or whatever, they get breaks
Oh
on
yeah,
the back end from
right,
the
correct.
government
I
for their
get what you're saying.
businesses and things like that. So I understand now. Now they're adding more to it, so it's easier to meet those criteria because it used to just be veteran, race, and then
Yeah,
gender.
gender.
Right.
That's right.
And
That's right.
now I think now it's like it's veteran, race, gender, I think disorders, like mental
Oh,
disorders.
really?
Um
See, I hadn't done an application
yeah,
in a
you've
while, but
you've been situated for a
well, I
while.
mean, right. That's right. So,
I mean, this is just me perusing as far as like
mhm.
looking at these things, but it's like gender, race, veteran status, mental disorder,
Sexuality
yeah, sexuality,
preference.
sexuality
Uh,
preference. Yeah,
okay.
so they're drawing from a bigger pool, I guess. To me, I don't know what the numbers are as far as what they have to do on the back end, but
Mhm.
I understand why HR is the way it is because you don't want to waste money on bringing somebody in that's not a fit because that's money going towards training because you got to pay the trainers and things like. I get that part.
Mhm.
And circling back, my thing that I was just bringing up is why why is that degree looked upon so hard when you can have somebody go an alternate route, but if they don't have that degree on there, it's just thrown out. And but they're better suited for the job compared to the person that just skated by
Absolutely.
with the degree who may have slept in class 50 to 75% of the time.
But the thing is, it's like that from the outside coming into a company.
Mm-hmm.
You, you internal, transition is it can happen.
Right.
That can happen.
Right.
That definitely can happen. That
Right.
person who doesn't have that degree can move up to do engineering work. They can have a degree in whatever. I fall into that category as well. But externally going in like that,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
hard.
once you're in, yeah, you don't have you
That's
shouldn't
right.
have an issue unless, well, at
That's
that
right.
point it just becomes a game of networking once you're in.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm just talking about the initial getting your foot in the door.
Initial
That's
because they have to make it where it's not
mm.
biased. And so they set those things very stringent. So if you don't have a degree, everybody who doesn't have a degree,
Wouldn't that fall into that bias category because you're wanting people with a degree? Shouldn't it be like it should be more open? I mean, I'm asking you because that wouldn't that you're basically alienating a lot of people that may be qualified for it that may have not went to the route of getting a degree. I'm just curious.
absolutely, absolutely. but I don't think they ask for. But now I think I've seen this transition. How many years of schooling in what field
Mhm.
did you go to school? So you might have not finished,
Right.
but you might have had enough to. But you know how it is. Junior senior year is when you hit your major courses.
Right.
So if you did it in your sophomore year, I mean,
Mm,
so
it, I, I'm just.
it's kind of tough. Even though you were in the engineering field,
Mhm.
you only got to your sophomore year.
Right. And I mean,
How much engineering courses did you take?
right. And I see a. Don't get me wrong. I see a lot of jobs now are are saying that. I wouldn't say they're not, a good bit of jobs are saying preferred instead of
Mhm.
mandatory because it was mandatory maybe like 10 years ago, 10,
Okay,
8 to 10 years ago. Jobs are starting to, I guess, loosen up on that a little bit because I
okay,
guess they're starting to realize that not everybody is going to be going through the ringer like that, and you're missing out on a lot of potential talent.
absolutely. You missing on potential talent. That's
Um,
no. You're right. Correct.
so yeah, when you say that bias, I'm just like, well, shouldn't it be more like anybody can apply, and then I know it'll put more work
Well,
on
you can
entry.
apply. Nobody gonna stop you from
Right, nobody's gonna
applying.
stop you from applying, but I'm saying like if you don't, I guess the wording on the applet on the job board,
Mhm.
like and or like have this experience or a degree, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
That's
I
right.
guess
That's
that
right.
would probably
Equivalent, the
right.
equivalent of a 4-year degree, 8 years experience. I do see that 8 years experience in this field
Mm,
because it could be somebody in another company got that experience, internally,
right,
and they're just transferring to another company. That that equates to engineering degree,
right. Yeah.
but it just takes longer. It just takes longer. It's a longer process unless things just fall in place for you. But to put in an application and say, I played a sport, a committed sport, I was a committed person, I did this, I did that, and but I want to work in this area,
Mm,
that might not fit the criteria of that job opening at the time. But if you get in that company
right.
and you can make your way into that field.
Yeah. I mean, I
You
think
might start at the ground. Let's start at the
that's
ground, work your
yeah,
way
that's
up.
where
And
everybody.
you know how y'all young people are. Y'all want it immediately. So I don't know. It's gonna be kind of tough.
I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us that have played sports know we have to start from the bottom. Like,
Okay,
like
that's right. That's
unless you're just automatically in the 1% at birth, like gifted athlete or something like that. A lot of us know we have to start from the bottom and work our way up.
99% of the other people.
Exactly. Like you start on JV for a reason because you work your way up to varsity.
that's right. That's right.
Like everybody
So,
knows that. So
but
you got to put in the work.
that's the key. Is it might take a little longer, but if your goals are set and you focused, you know, you'll be wherever you want to be. But for me, that college degree
Mhm.
thing, it's it's not going to be the thing of the future. It's skill labor is going to be the thing of the future. I'm just going to put it out there because people are lazy. People are getting lazy. They don't want to even go get their own food.
Mhm.
So if you could do a service, goods and services, supply whatever it is, supply it to the masses. You're gonna be successful
So
in the
basically, you're just saying to make another delivery service with cheaper prices. That's what you're basically saying.
delivery. This
Mm,
maintenance type AC. Hey, if your AC goes out,
right.
even now, so it's things like that. These careers are going to be there, but that college degree, just like you were saying, why is it required? Even though when you got people with skills, you know, that can do it, that don't have the college degree. So it's going there. People seeing that. People, and then what's the mindset of those people with that college degree? Are they willing to get their hands dirty, possibly in
Mm.
situations?
I mean, it just depends on the person. I guess that's when you do the
Mhm.
interview and everything like that, because you're not gonna be able to tell from when the application is.
That's
But
right. That's right.
that's what I was talking about as far as like the sports or something like that, because that shows you
Hmm.
putting in
That's
the
right.
work. Whereas a college degree doesn't say anything. It's just like I
That's
was
right.
there for 4 years or 5 years or
Mhm.
whatever, however long it took you. I was just there. It doesn't show what I did, but you have somebody say I was on this team, I did this, I did that. Like they're putting in the work for X amount of
Well, you
years.
graduate top of your class at one school,
Mm.
but Ivy League
Well, yeah,
school
that's I mean
ladies barely pass,
I mean
and they get more credit than you. It's
right.
just based on what?
Oh, it's a
What's
bias.
it based on?
It's a bias. It's a
Okay,
bias.
all right,
It's a
all right,
bias.
all
It's a
right.
bias because we know good and well if you put down you went to X school and the CEO or somebody he went to this school. Oh, just break it.
He went to school. Hey, I don't care if you don't know anything about engineering. He got it. He got the job.
So that was pretty much it. It was just a thought I had, in passing. Just wanted to, but
I got one. What would you tell a young kid right now,
mm,
getting ready to jump into this world, education wise, whatever? What would be your advice to them?
mm, well, first things make sure you want to go. That would be the first
Okay,
thing. Make sure you want to go. Like, is that
that's right.
make sure you want to go to school, and then tell them about the other opportunities that are available outside of going to school. However,
Mhm.
you will still need to educate yourself on like marketing, business, things like that. Like if you wanted to be a influencer, like you need to know those skills. You need to be around the right people. Look at look at YouTube, save YouTube videos to go back and refresh yourself, buy books if that's the route you want to go, or if you're going to trade, find a trade that you like, go to trade school. Um, but yeah, it wouldn't be so much like pushing the whole college thing. It would
Mhm.
just what do you want to do? What do you want to do? However, you do have these other options if you're trying to be a influential figure or whatever. Like if you're going to run for presidency, of course you need to yeah, you're going to have to go to school for
Right.
that. Like
That's right.
I don't
That's
think
right.
there's going to be anybody that's going to get elected into the presidency that hasn't gone to school.
Played 4 years of football, football. But
um
I get what you're saying.
so yeah, but that's probably the best advice I can give them. I
Uh,
mean, I mean,
uh,
it's just there's so many other options compared to what it was back. Now I sound like you. And now I sound like you. There's so many
it's
other
probably
options.
rubbed off some good stuff.
No, no, no. I'm saying what y'all like to say. Oh, we didn't have these options back in our day.
Mhm,
We walked
mhm.
6 feet both ways up and down the hill.
Yeah,
This, that, and the third.
right.
But no, there's a lot more options now compared to when college, first started for our generation and things like that.
That's
So
right.
just tell them to, look at all these things, and then you don't even have to necessarily go to school. You can be an investor because you're gonna have a lot of other investment opportunities that are coming out. Like,
But you gotta have this to
I
invest.
mean, you start saving your money when you're younger. That a lot of people are saving.
Absolutely.
I've seen some people that there's a young man that saved his money and bought a server from Waffle House, a new car, like from because he enjoyed talking to the young man at Waffle House. It was they
Right.
were I think he went there for like the past year and a half or something like that, and he saved up money
Right.
and bought him a new and got him a new car so he can get to and from work and stuff like that.
Right.
And we already talked about the young lady that saved her refund checks and opened up a business.
So,
So you have those options. And then if you plan on having kids, I would hope that you want to give them a head start, so you start saving and give them money to invest right from the get go, so they'll
That's right.
already have that money. So
That's right.
if you have the right if you have the right
And
backing, you'll already be all right.
cash, and I'm just saying resources and time.
Right.
That's the two things. That's all you need, and just let it work for you. And it's not a lot of money. Just go, just be consistent and invest, like you said, invest and let time work. That do its magic. I wish somebody would have told me that when I was young.
Right. I just wish
But
there was more investment opportunities like there are now when I was younger. Because
well, you think about it. You think about it. I was there before Amazon. I was
yeah.
there. All these stores, all these things,
Mm-hmm.
Google, all this wasn't even around.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody would have told me, just put your money in this, just put your money in that, just
Right. I
and
mean,
let it run,
and it goes the same
I'd be
thing
a multi-millionaire.
for my generation with the ride
That's
sharing and the
right.
food delivery. So
Put your money there. Let it work. Just let it.
well, find the right people that are going to tell you the right information,
That's right. That's
because a
right.
lot of times when it comes out, it's already too late. So get in on the ground floor. Uh, that'll be
So,
the
but that's all part of education.
well, that's part of networking.
But you got to be intelligent enough. You got to know how money works. You got to
Right.
know how to add and subtract. You got to know how to read things
Right.
like that.
I mean, all those skills you should know by the time you
but
by the
you
time you're in
understand.
high school and
That's
you
right.
want to actually use some of the money that was saved or whatever. I would hope.
I have to question some of these news things I see.
I would hope.
I have to question that, but I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because I mean, you're in grade school. You should those are like required skills to get out of middle school and start in college and stuff like that. So it, I would hope that was the case. But yeah, but
Great advice, though. That's good. Good stuff.
I
You've
mean,
learned. I can drop the mic
it's not even a learn. So,
now.
see, why are you always trying to take credit for something that you had no input on? That's not even a learned thing. That's a common sense thing just from viewing my world, the world that I'm growing up in and I'm witnessing. No, we're not gonna do that. You're not gonna sit there and do that. Your generation is not gonna sit there and oh yeah, we
Oh,
learned you, we learned you, we dropping the mic. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
okay.
We're
Just
not gonna.
use the tools we gave you. You just use the tools.
The tools that you gave us don't work anymore. The tools that you gave
Well,
us don't work anymore.
upgrade. Just
It's a
upgrade
new
the
yeah,
tools.
we upgraded to the tools that we use. It's a new age. We don't walk in the snow. We use snow blowers. We use
Right,
snow
that's right.
blowers.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But it does the same thing. It serves the same purpose.
No, because you didn't have those. You were walking barefoot in the snow, 6 miles one way and back. According to y'all, that's what you like to say.
Uphill there and uphill.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But anyway, yeah, it was just thought I had passing. I hope you all enjoyed this little quick podcast episode. We don't have anything going on the schedule that I know of, so it'll be your turn next week. And
And it's always great. So
I don't know
I
why he's
know
trying to hype
everybody's gonna
himself
be
up
looking
like
forward to it.
I don't know why he's trying to hype himself up like that. See, you give them an inch and they take a mile. This is why we can't let the
See, I said you gave some good
oh,
stuff.
we
I
can't
mean, this is
let them
a topic.
we can't give them anything, yo, because they'll run with it. They'll run with it.
So,
But
but
anyway,
peace, everybody.
yep. We'll see you next
And
week.
you just, hey, you gave some good advice today, and I'm proud of you.
I don't need you to tell me that. I don't need you to tell me that. And it's like everybody always asking me for advice, man. I think I should start a
A
bit.
tear coming down your face. Is that a tear coming down?
See, this is what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're out of here. I'll see you next week.
All right,
You all take
everybody.
care. Later.
Good one.